Before we hop into today's video, I just want to say thoughts and prayers going out to everybody in the Chapel Hill and Durham area as that tropical storm had just come through over the last 12 to 18 hours now. And the devastation that has been shown over there has been absolutely just, it's crazy, man, to see the rushing of water and how it can destroy things very fastly. So everybody that has been, in and around that area, and that has been affected by our thoughts and prayers are with you. If there's anything that we can do, feel free to reach out to us over there on our X page, Hill Brothers on X/Twitter. And we will do anything that we can to help anybody in that area. But thoughts and prayers to everybody going out that has been affected by that tropical storm. Hopefully today's video can be a little bit of a distraction for what's going on up there. And hopefully you guys are having a good time. We're thankful to have you here with us over here at the Hill Brothers. Thaddeus Dixon was a massive name that came to North Carolina out of the transfer portal and for Bill Belichick just a couple of months ago. Coming out of Washington, he was a guy that many colleges wanted. Washington wanted him back. He was a part of their national championship game team a couple of years ago. And North Carolina and Bill Belichick were eyeing him up for a long, long time, considering that he was coached under Steve Belichick, Bill's son. So when he came to North Carolina, it was a ton of highlights that were thrown online, and all the news was coming out that, Carolina's, beefing up their secondary with a corner like Thaddeus Dixon. I was a very big supporter of that pickup, and I have really enjoyed watching the film that he's had and also seeing his interview a few weeks ago that he had in front of the press for the first time ever, when we got our first ever look and press conferences from some players, Thaddeus Dixon being included. But Thaddeus Dixon is not only making headlines on the field, he's making headlines in social media, to say the least. Yesterday, during what was a normal Sunday, we were getting ready to do our Sunday Tar Heel, which is a live show that we do every single Sunday, 2 to 3 p.m. You guys can come out there and have a good time with us. It's live, so your comments will be shown on screen. Come out here and have a good time with us. There's the plug. And we actually talked about this already over there. But just before that thing went live yesterday, I happened to get on Twitter just to take a quick gander, and up popped a post from the very famous and awesome Twitter handle and Twitter profile of Great Day Tar Heel. Love that dude. Absolutely to death. They do a great job over there. Always on top of everything. And they've always got some super cool things to say as well. But he was doing a post of a record list that he had saw where it was 10-2, and he put in there, it's like, ooh, I feel like this was more of like a 9-3 team, possibly 10-2. Who knows? What do you think? He was kind of opening it up to everybody, and people were commenting left and right, yes, but one person in particular decided to hop into the comments of this post, and that was Thaddeus Dixon himself. And what did he say? He said 12-0, baby. Let's go. No. He quickly very explained. He says, we feel like every game is winnable, and it's 12-0 in my opinion. That's what we should be this year. We need y'all on the same page as us. And it blew up UNC Twitter, just to say the least. North Carolina fans, including myself, were amazed at the comments that came out of nowhere from a highly touted, highly respected player on North Carolina's defense. North Carolina's defense hadn't been too hot over the last few years, and it's been the problem area for North Carolina. Well, this guy just rolls up into Carolina. Is like, nah, G, let's go. 12-0. So what can we make out of this? Well, we talked about it. Me and Alan both talked about this a little bit yesterday on the Sunday Tar Heel, but I just kind of want to go over this thing just a few minutes with you guys as well, and what it means to me. And personally, I think I can speak for most of the North Carolina fan base, considering all the tweets that I saw. Vast majority of us loved to hear what he had to say. Now, let's put this into context. So everybody knows that every team across the country wants to win all the games. Mac Brown would always say that, everybody wants to win all the games. And that is obviously true. Everybody wants to win the national championship. Everybody wants to go 12-0, win their conference, and they all believe that they can do this. Well, with this year, everybody knows that The spotlight's going to be on North Carolina a little bit extra than it's been in maybe over the last 25 years. When Mac Brown came back, yes, there was some eyes on us. Drake May's second year, when he was looked at to be a Heisman candidate potentially, after being 9-1. Unfortunately, ended up 9-5. Was in the ACC championship game that year. There was some pressure there to win with a star quarterback, a top. Everybody knew a top 5 lock-in draft pick, but never have there ever been a situation where you have the greatest football coach of all time in Bill Belichick coming out of the pros and coming to your campus to coach, and the draws in which he has already had. And we're talking about him telling the world, and Michael Lombardi telling the world, that, hey, this is now the 33rd NFL team. We are not just North Carolina football. We are the gateway to the NFL. We are going to be the pro team in the college ranks. And you saw all these people come in, the staff that's been put together, and the players like a Thaddeus Dixon coming to North Carolina and making some big splashes, not only in the transfer portal, but on the recruiting trail as well. So let's go back to Thaddeus Dixon's comments, because this year, we don't really know the kind of a team that we have right now. Obviously, a guy like Thaddeus does, because he's on the blessed team. He gets to see all these practices. He's participating in all of these practices that, unfortunately, we're not privy to see, and we have to wait all the way until that very first game on that Monday night against TCU. But here's why I love this personally. Do I think that North Carolina is going to go 12-0 this year? I'm not going to bet the house on it. I'll put it to you that way. I don't know what I'm going to pick North Carolina to be this year. We got the season predictor coming up in a number of weeks, but I can pretty much tell you it's not going to be 12-0. But let me tell you what I do like about this comment, it being 12-0. The thought process behind it, to me, when it comes to Thaddeus Dixon, here's why it's so impactful to me. Thaddeus Dixon's been on a team that's been to the national championship game. He was on that great Washington team, with Michael Penix and Rome Odunze and all those guys. And I really thought they could potentially win that game. Unfortunately, Michigan was just a different animal during that game. But he's been on a roster that's made it to the national championship game. He understands what it means to get there and what it takes to get there. And you look at how North Carolina's come in. I go back to his comments also during the press conference. He's like, very confidently speaking. We talked about this in the video. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and plug that video down there below in the comments when I talked about the press conferences, and you guys can go listen to that one as well if you'd like. But he talked about how the question was asked, like, what do you think this defense could be? And he's like, and a big smile on his face, he says, you know what? You guys just going to have to wait and see. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. To see that kind of confidence coming out of North Carolina, this is a confidence that we haven't really saw much of in a long time. There were moments where you could catch a little hint of some confidence, but it kind of felt like forced confidence, forced for the media, forced for the press, because there were a lot of times that I got out of an interview that I would listen to all of them, from a player, during a game week, or a coach, or whatever the case may be. And they would say the right things, but there wasn't that belief behind it. You couldn't feel that belief that, we know who we are, we're good, and we know that we're good, and you guys are in for a treat. I never felt that at any time under the Mac 2.0 era. And I have instantly felt it with Belichick, especially after these recent player interviews, and then seeing this behind it. Thaddeus Dixon was not in front of the press. He was not asked this in an interview at some type of academy like Gio Lopez was last week at the Manning Passing Academy, things of that nature. He was on Twitter, just like an average, everyday Joe. And, players see this. They see this stuff that everybody brings up. Oh, season predictor. People say they don't see it. They see this stuff just like we do, right? And he took the time to stop and say, hold on a minute. You're saying 9-3, 10-2, right? 9-3, 10-2. We're going to be 12-0. We believe every game is winnable. We believe that we're going to get every game. And we're on this belief. He said, you need to get on the same page as us. That is a united front. And let me tell you something. Why I like this, you guys could call me crazy. Let me know down in the comments if you think I'm crazy. If this guy, who's been to the national championship game, knows what it takes to get there, was on a pretty good, daggum good defense last year, has come over here and he's exuding this confidence and saying, hey, you guys haven't saw us yet. We know we're brand new to you, but we believe that this is where we're going to be and we're going to be good. And just y'all wait and see, especially when he didn't even have to. That is a mentality that, to me, I want that guy in my room, because that guy is going to exude that confidence, and it's the entire room is going to soak it all up. And I think that's potentially what's happening here. If what Thaddeus Dixon is saying and his energy and that kind of confidence is exuding out of him in those rooms with the entire team in the defensive side of the ball, the offensive side of special teams, if that's being soaked up by everybody else, we all know, everybody knows in sports, when you got a team that just believes, look out, they're dangerous no matter what. And that's what I like about this. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Tell me what you think about it. I'm thinking, I love the comments, because considering he didn't have to make them, he could have just kept scrolling, saw it, said, okay, whatever, kept scrolling, just got out of the way, whatever. But he stopped to comment on this, to say, hey, y'all need to get with us. 12-0, baby. Will it happen? Now, that's another question. We don't know. We won't know until, what, late November, Thanksgiving? We'll know if they're 12-0, but then, if they're in that ACC championship game, whatever the case may be, we don't know now. But I like the confidence that's coming out of Thaddeus Dixon. I'm excited. It's got me way more excited for North Carolina football. I was already hyped and excited, but this has got me way over the moon about this right now. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to know what you guys think as well. How do you feel about Thaddeus Dixon's comments? Should he have made it? Should he have not? I like that he did. I like that he's telling us, the fans who have been, just empathetic, and we got to a point where we don't care anymore because we kept seeing this product, and we haven't, even though Bill Belichick's come in, do we really believe that things are going to change? I still have my doubts. I don't know. And I don't get to see it. But this guy has. And he's also been to the top. He's been to the final two. I like what he's saying. I don't know. That's just me. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always, go Heels.